I've designed a lot of logos in my life. Too many to count. But if you were to ask me to recreate those logos, everything would be a blur. I'm also pretty sure most of those logos use the same typeface, just in a different font. Did you know there's a difference between typefaces and fonts? Logos are everywhere. We see them so often that they're burned into our mind. Or at least we think they are. So I thought after years of exposure to branding and logos, what happens if I try to recreate them from memory? I'm not expecting this to look good, and you shouldn't either. But we might surprise ourselves. Here's how it's gonna work. 100 artboards, 20 logos per category, 5 categories: technology, food and beverage, fashion and lifestyle, automotive and transport, sports and entertainment. 2 minutes on the clock for each logo, no Googling and no breaks. Don't do this, have breaks. I've never been more ready for anything in my whole design career. My knowledge of logos is strong, the sun is shining, and my shortcuts just let me know that they're ready. I feel sick. Now this is a daunting task to undertake, but I knew what had to be done. Go. I could picture each logo vividly in my mind. Now it's just a matter of recreating them, pixel by pixel. Oh, that's sort of it. That's the wrong font, but imagine if it was the right one. I was in what I like to call a flow state, though I absolutely wasn't making it more difficult than it needed to be by trying to remember each brand mark. What is the brand mark? Is it still the camera? This? 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 This! That looks good. Oh, how about this? That looks shit. This? Is it more of it? Less? More? Are they both like this? Is one full? Taking breaks throughout this challenge would have been a really important thing to do, had I have done them. It's super important to take time from big screen to look at small screen. But also taking breaks might have allowed me to remember some of these logos. That, or if I just Googled them. Which I'm not going to do. I've got Tok, that's not even right. The hell is Tok? Famous logos like Apple and McDonald's have taken months, sometimes years to create, passed through countless hands and rounds of development. Luckily for me, I had 2 minutes and determination to design these logos that took literal years to develop. The biggest issue was that I had to remember these logos with my memory, and my doctor recently told me that I'm nursing home critically low in B12. Discord. Fuck. Sometimes I came up against total roadblocks, like you would if you were recreating cult-loved logos in 2 minutes. But I found that taking my time, slowing things down, and playing around really helped re-jog my memory of these logos. Or it led me to create something bespoke and award-winningly unique. Condensed slightly. Maybe not. Maybe that's it. Let's fucking customize it somehow. If I was strapped for time, customization became the key to getting something done. Whoa, this looks sick. Dell, more like damn. Fortunately for this category, tech companies just gravitate towards using the same kind of modern serif, so I was able to save a lot of time duplicating the previously used fonts, which did start to get a bit monotonous. But just like that, I'd completed my first bunch of logos. Apple, LinkedIn, and Facebook aren't too far off. The Pinterest brand mark looks like the Beats logo, and I clearly didn't pay enough attention in geometry to really nail the Dropbox icon. All in all, I'm pretty stoked that Dell got themselves a new worse logo. Food and beverage, McDonald's. Oh. I got quite good at making up logos on the fly. Couldn't remember a logo? Make a new one. Burger King. Fucked if I know. And it's in a bun. Not Cinnabon. Haha. Wrong brand. This is God's work. The hell? What the hell? You fucker. It was moving along really nicely. I broke each logo down into types before I started a new board. Word mark, letter mark, abstract mark, mascot. Whichever came to my mind first, or whichever my mind would let me remember, was what I designed. Hot diggity dog, that's sick. Any logos I couldn't remember, I redesigned. Because something was better than nothing. Remember what Red Bull looks like. Red Bull. Burger King, Fanta, and Sprite all feel quite successful. I took creative liberty with the Oreo logo, and I don't know what happened to the McDonald's logo. I feel like the Golden Arches are maybe one of the first logos to imprint on your brain. I guess not. And shout out to Five Guys for quite possibly one of the most boring logos I've ever seen. How the fuck do I do the swoosh? This looks like a fucking hockey stick. I don't think that's not bad. It's not good either. I spent a lot of this design time trying not to get too attached to any one design. What was the point? The challenge was to remember the logo to the best of my ability and recreate it in 2 minutes. They weren't ever going to be good, but that also wasn't the point. Thanks to high-end fashion branding, I had a monochromatic color scheme on my side. Thank you fashion divas for the lack of color in your branding systems. You basically have taken that 2 minutes and doubled it for me, allowing me time to completely disassociate. This is peak graphic design. I finally reached the summit. Never again will I create a subpar logo. Luxury logos all follow the same rule. A serif or sans serif with a contrasting brand mark in the other font style with either too much or too little tracking. Who's next? Ralph Lauren. Why did I do this to myself? Adidas I'm quite proud of. Converse is almost identical, and the North Face is a cry for help. I got experimental with Lacoste by drawing the crocodile, which I probably should have done all along, so shout out to Red Bull. Probably should have drawn those 2 bulls. Circles absolutely dominate the automotive design category. They're in almost every single car logo. I wonder if their inspiration was wheels. The wheels on a car. Definitely something to think about. Terrible. Great, next. Delusion was setting in hard and strong. I was truly astonished I could remember so many of these. I don't even like cars, but somehow my brain decided that it would retain the category of car logos. Well, except the Porsche logo. That one's a mystery. I should have swapped it out with the new Jaguar logo instead. Often it would start with a circle. Add another circle, add some text, likely a sans serif, and you've got the fundamentals of an automotive logo. But you know the rules. What I don't know, I just make up. I could be way off. 44 seconds. Let's just make logos up at this stage. Hyundai. 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 Now, just because I struggled to pronounce them didn't mean that I couldn't give them a completely new logo. Some of these designs are completely custom. I could sell these for big bucks. Or I'm so far into this challenge that I've convinced myself that these aren't half bad. Ford, I'm quite proud of. I like the look of the new Suzuki S and the Hyundai H. They feel crafted. And Lamborghini, you got yourself a new logo. In brush script, no less, lucky thing. This was the final sprint. The end was in sight. Sports and entertainment. Oh God, I don't know how to, this is bad. It was like Casper the Ghost playing basketball. Easily the most complex logos of the entire set. The ones that would really put my memory to the test. So I did what any good designer would do, dove deep into the nitty-gritty details of these world-famous marks. Accuracy in 2 minutes is impossible, but anything that even slightly resembled the original, I'll take it at this point. FIFA, you got yourself a new logo. Look at that. That's great. And that's something. So that's good. Exhaustion was starting to set in. I should be used to doing this. I do this every single day for hours on end. I was struggling to recall the details. Does the Disney logo have a star on the tittle? I have no fucking idea what Warner Brothers looks like. And there had to be a block as the O in Roblox. It's literal design innovation. At this stage, I was just trying to convince myself that these were looking at least similar to the originals. PlayStation, nailed it. The last few logos were all a blur. I was battling between enjoying the process and not giving a fuck anymore. Did these even look similar to the actual logo? Turns out, designing this many logos forces you to notice patterns that you'd normally ignore. Plus, it felt kind of good to make things without overthinking. In the end, I guess the designs are just the logos we made along the way. But would I ever make this again? I don't think I'd ever do that again. Marvel's looking super good though. Proud of that one. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. All my links are in the description below. And bye. Goodbye.